Okay, this is to stop my husband from nagging me any longer. We're going to do a virtual tour of our farm here. We're just 5 miles outside of Leeds and we farm, well, we have 30 acres, but we've got about 12 or 13 acres in production this year. We're just going to go down and have a wander around, see what we've got that's ready now. It's the 5th of August today, so this is what it looks like in the full summer picking season. So here we've just had some beds rotivated over. These are going to be for the winter purple sprouting broccoli. We've got some summer purple sprouting broccoli just here. Some of it's gone to seed, but you can see here we've got some that's just ready to be picked. Next to that we've got some Victoria rhubarb. This was split, the crowns were split earlier in the year when they were dormant, and these will be ready to harvest in about 3 years time, because these will be going in for the forcing shed. So this one's Victoria, and then the next bed here is Timperley early, so these will go into our forcing sheds in the winter. And well, we don't have forcing sheds, we're actually doing it in polytunnels now, so, and it's worked out really well this year. Moving on, there are various colours here from the different varieties of kale. We've got a green borecole, red borecole, red Russian, Cavallonero, and then some red bor, which is a new variety that we've not grown this year. And then got some winter cabbages. These are a white cabbage, and then there's some red cabbages just over there as well. Moving on, we're going towards the beans. We've got 2 different varieties of beans in. We've got runner beans with the nice red flowers, but we'll get there a bit sooner. And then we've got some French beans, which are some nice little bobby beans. Some more winter brassicas just there. You notice it is parsnips. Not a big patch of parsnips this year because the germination was pretty poor on them. The bean poles down there. And then we've got a patch of lettuce here at varying stages. So we've got some that's not far off picking, and then some that obviously got a little bit of way to go. Further over we've got some leeks, and then we've got some overwintering cauliflowers, so they'll be ready next year. And right over at the far edge there's some more rhubarb, but that's just for harvesting now. Rhubarb's been a little bit funny this year because it's started growing really early with the warm weather, and then because of the dry weather it was really dormant, went dormant again, and now it's just started growing again with a bit of rain that we've had. So moving down, that's definitely not bring over there, it's just a scarecrow. Keeping off the wood pigeons, which are a bit of a problem on the brassicas. Resident cat down there, not one of ours, but I hope it's keeping the mice down. So down into this bottom field, go through this section here, we have some leeks and onions coming up. We're just harvesting some of the leeks at the minute, but we're just pulling them as baby leeks, so we're doing nice little bunches of those. And we're doing some onions as well. We've got more rhubarb over in the corner. Obviously we've got quite a lot of rhubarb, but it does take several years before you can crop it. So here we've got the leeks and the onions, and further on we've got some more brassicas. Potatoes just here, these are kestrels, they're a really nice one with pink eyes. And then we've got, oh, what have we got now? Sprouts, savoys. Sprouts are nowhere near yet, but we are on it on the 5th of August. And these are little savoys, or they will be. The bigger savoys once we get towards the winter. More scarecrows, a few of the boys hoeing just over there. We don't actually spray for weeds, it's all done by hand, hoeing. cultivating, so patches you can see are a bit weedy, so we keep up to the hoeing while the plants are smaller, and then once the big firm and established, then we think that the plants have got enough energy down in there to be able to battle out with the weeds, and when the plants get really big it's difficult to hoe around them. This patch here we've got a section of courgette. These ones are our second batch of courgettes. We do them in batches so that we can make the season extend a little bit, obviously, so that we've got some coming earlier, and then nice strong plants that are still producing quite vigorously, because obviously as the plant ages they stop producing quite as many. Right, so we've got some more overwintering veggies here. This side we're back to the kale again. Just along here, before we get to the, well, just after the kale, there's some beetroot. So we've got 3 different types of beetroot this year. This is just a regular beetroot, see there, and then we have chogia, which is a paler beetroot with a pink stripe there, and then we also have some white beetroot this year as well. They're all a bit sweeter than what the regular red beetroot are. Moving on, there's Meg there, nice and dirty today. She's been out in the field quite a bit. More lettuce, as you can see it's a bit weedier. So the hoeing's obviously stopped on that patch now because we're actually harvesting that. Another bed that's just been rotivated, and the boys hard at work here. Next to them we've got some Jerusalem artichokes. These are like sunflowers, so they'll flower in another month or so, and underneath is where the artichokes come, but if you just look at the moment you can see that there's absolutely nothing there where things are, because the energy doesn't go into forming the roots until the flowers and the stems have died right back down, and as it's dying down that's when the roots actually bulk up, so that's when you get your artichokes in there. So the top section here is filled with Christmas trees. These are all ready to harvest this year. They've been in for about 9 years now, this section up here, and then in between all these weeds here we've got Christmas trees, some of which will be ready this year. As you can see, this is quite a weedy bed, but it's very good for the bees, the birds, the insect life, so it's sort of a homing ground for breeding up all the good insects that will get rid of all the bad ones, which is always a good thing. So we're going to move on to the field in front of the nursery, and when I get in there we'll see what we've got in that one. So what we should have is some red and green spring cabbage. We've grown red spring cabbage this year for the first time, and it's quite a new variety. I don't think it's been out for very long at all. So we're just going along to this bottom section here. As you can see, we have got quite a few scarecrows. They're doing a really good job. Mind you, it'd probably be worse if they weren't there. So just in this section here we've got some chard. We do Swiss chard and rhubarb chard, and along at this one here we've got some cauliflowers. So these are your collies here. As you can see, the leaves are quite tightly wrapped and then they open out. These are a summer cauliflower. In the winter the leaves tend to be wrapped around an awful lot more, and it's quite difficult to see which ones have actually got the cauliflowers in. Next door in there we've got some calabrese. It's just getting ready, so we're side shooting those now. The main heads have mainly been removed from them, and there's the red spring cabbage. It's really quite nice, much nicer to have something a little bit different, so you can get a green one and a red one. It looks prettier on your plate than when you've got 2 different colours. So along we've got more winter brassicas getting ready here. As you can see, there is quite a bit of pigeon damage if we go in there. You can probably see if I get my shadow out of the way. Been having a good munch on these, but quite sturdy little plants, so these should recover. We just need to try and keep the pigeon population down. So, moving on, yet more cauliflowers and more calabrese, and then in this section here, this is what the asparagus looks like in August. Basically, the asparagus season runs from, well, usually St. George's Day, 23rd of April, and then you can pick from it for about 6 weeks, although the spears do carry on coming up all the way through the summer. Oops, can't turn it that way, this is the reason I'm doing it again. And these are the fronds, so these are your asparagus fronds. Next year we should have quite a good crop. So, next to the asparagus, disappear off out here, we've got the raspberries. These raspberries are just coming towards an end now, but a little bit further up you'll see that we've actually got some autumn blissing as well, so they're just starting to fruit and they should go on right through until the first frosts, and they're a really nice variety, and it's nice to have. I mean, we've even picked the autumn bliss in December before now, so a very long producing. You just have to have a sample of one of these ones. So, I think that's necessary. Oh yeah, they're really good. So on here, there's probably quite a bit of pollination going on, although it looks like we've had quite a lot, and as I say, these are just getting to ripeness stage now. So along into the last field, and we've got a bit that's just been rotivated in. That did have some chard in there, but that's just gone. Along the edges there we've got red currants, black currants, gooseberries. We've got two different kinds of gooseberries, a red gooseberry and a green gooseberry. The red one's really sweet and you can just eat it like sweets. The green one's obviously a gobstopper one where you've got to grimace when it goes in your mouth, but they're really good for cooking with. And here we've got some more courgettes. These were the first batch of courgettes. So these are a lot further on than the ones that we saw a little bit earlier. Next to these, we've got some rows of the mixed spicy leaf and some spinach a little bit further up. So we'll have a bit of a trek up here. So these are the different kinds of mustards here, and they really are quite spicy. Next door to these we've got squashes and pumpkins, so in between all these weeds, because it is quite difficult to hoe when these are viney plants because they grow out all over the place. But these ones, we've got acorn squashes just under there, you can see that, and then we've got moonbeams, which is a nice summer squash. It's really good for stuffing with rice and mint and or chicken. And then we've got some moonbeams. Oh no, we've done moonbeams. We've got sunbeams as well, which are a golden version of the moonbeam. And then we've got some harlequins and some pumpkins. So quite a wide variety. We've also got some butternut squash in there as well. The butternut squash that we grow is a hunter, and it's bred specifically for production in Northern Europe, because the ones that are from the Americas just don't ever seem to make and get up to any level of size to be able to eat. So we've discovered the other ones, which, as I say, the hunters, which get ready just when we want them to.